Welcome back to my channel. So today is my day 2 in Beijing after being outside of China for almost 10 years without ever coming back. So today I decided to rediscover the 798 Art District. It was a place to be when I first came to 798 like 13 years ago. It was such a wonderful underground artistic place where all these events and art projects were taking place and a lot of transactions as well. Foreign collectors came here to hunt emerging, rising artists with huge potentials. And today when I first came there, I couldn't find the gate because I didn't really recognize. It was packed and it was just full of stuff. Like trashed bicycles, a lot of traffic. 10 years ago, when I left it, it was like in the outskirts of the city. It was so abundant in a way, and today it was so packed. It was like a major touristic attraction of some kind. And when I entered, I just saw food trailers. Food, different kinds of food, finger food, takeaway, sweets. When I continued, I just saw this good old Yulin Center, and it was a very important contemporary art center, was just finished being built before I left China. And today I came in and I just saw it was a store with gadgets and handmade bags, shoes, cameras. And I just saw a guy standing at the gate just telling people not to bring their ice creams inside. Please eat your ice creams outside. And his job probably was one of the most frustrating job in the whole 798 art district, and he was obviously not very content with his duties. And he had to repeatedly telling people not to carry their food, which for me it was a surprise because number one, why there's so many food trailers outside? Number two, why people are bringing their food inside of an art space anyway? But obviously it wasn't exactly an art space. That is my surprise. Number three, why is this not an art space when it is a 798 and it was supposed to be an art center? And when I walked around, I discovered more restaurants and cafes than art galleries or art spaces. And I would call it 798 food market instead of art district. And maybe food was the most universal language and enjoyment of all human beings, and perhaps Chinese in general are just foodies. I understand, I like good food too, but I just didn't expect after 10 years I couldn't even recognize anything inside, except one place. That was the Art Cafe. When I walked inside the Art Cafe, I discovered Huang Rui, the artist I used to collaborate with and I knew personally for a long time, and it was nice to see him. And then also the head waitress, who is obviously the manager of the place by now, and she recognized me as well and said hi, and she said, "You hadn't changed a bit." And I was like, right. Obviously, you neither. So it was very funny and it was very comforting to see old faces and to see a place where I had the feeling that I was there at that moment in time. I had a good conversation with my old buddy. He's doing a very interesting project with a company, trying to make a social art with the workers in the company. It was amazing, and I have to interview him about this project one day when I have time. We took a walk around in the 798 and he basically told me that nothing is
Nothing, just want to see you.
Nothing is the same anymore, and every single art space has changed hand at least like 3 times a year. It was just constantly shutting down, opening, and even himself couldn't recognize, and he was just there last week. And he lives right around the corner. He walked inside, he's like, "I didn't know this space, what was that?" Together we visited an art exhibition. It was a very interesting layout. What I liked the most is the wood panels just curved around, and in the end you see some books with some IKEA tables and chairs. And the IKEA curtain, yes, it was an IKEA curtain. I think it works better with Chinese art than other sort of art forms because it combines with the traditional Chinese role and the traditional Chinese painting with the new way of people, like living, like lifestyles, like IKEA, the global provider for cheap consumer products and furnitures. Why not? I generally think it was a good idea, although some paintings were quite creepy. This artist doesn't really do this a lot, and usually he does recycled and reclaimed wood and installations. So it was much more uncollectible in terms of collection and sale. I guess this series of art is more collectible, and I guess he aimed to, tilt towards the market a little bit, which fine. I mean, I'm very happy for him, and I think I enjoyed this exhibition. It was unexpected. I didn't, expect when I walked inside to see this wood paneling and, long like paintings that is longer than any sort of long paintings I've seen. It was cool. I enjoyed it. And then we just walked around and we see some more stores, more restaurants, and some people are just constantly taking selfies. And I think the rule of contemporary art in China, as what I see today, just from today, is like a place you take selfies. I guess in a way it's good because these people who are taking selfies and sharing with their friends are doing free publicity for the artists and for the gallerists. But on the other hand, I just think that they are there for the food. Really, they're there for the food. They're not there for the art. And I don't know if I should continue to call it 7 and 8 Art District or, I don't know, cultural amusement park. And you can even see fake dinosaurs to attract children with families to go to see the other side of the park. And I think they call it D Park or something. It's another compound connected to 798, aimed to promote VR and AI and some kind of immersive cinema experience. It's entertainment, why not? It could be technology combined with art, why not? But for the moment, what I see is a bit like verging away towards consumer entertainment rather than art. But if this is what it pays, they're happy with it, they're not hurting anybody, why not? But I'm still very shocked from my day, like I didn't recognize anything I've known, and I felt like I have missed a lot, and I felt like it was a pity that I didn't catch other moments in time to see the whole development. And the moment I arrived, I think I'm at the very last stage of the life circle of this 798 art district. Many artists were forced to leave. They were not first, but they were economically forced to leave 798 because many other big brands are coming, like Audi or some like Hyundai or whatever companies, they are coming and they are renting the place with a lot higher rent. So guess what? It's a market economy, and artists were forced to leave 798 Art District. For those of you who doesn't know, it was originally a Soviet military factory, and that's why it's called 798 Factory. And it was a Bauhaus-style building built by the German and Soviet Union experts. The German, of course, the Soviet German, I mean the East Germany, not the other side. So it was built in the 50s, and then it was abandoned in the 90s, if I'm not wrong. Then people from the Central Academy of Fine Art, my brother's school, I'm from Central Academy of Drama. So those artists were looking for a place to practice, to become independent artists, to rent studios. And then after a decade, it became a place to be, and it became where all the other artists, gallerists were gathering, and it was a wonderful place. I had very, very fond memories. But today I had to say that it was a big surprise, and guess what? This is China. How do you summarize? What kind of stuff?
Chaos, like creative chaos.
Creative chaos. This sounds good.
China, yeah, of course. For some people.
Disruption.
A disruption economy.
Does it go together?
Somehow.
Things change very fast, and I hadn't been here 10 years, My fault, my bad. I'm not gonna complain like an old person with nostalgia. I'm gonna move on, and tomorrow I'm going to discover some other places. This weekend I'm going to meet a remote family member that I haven't seen for that many years, and she's like 9 years old and she's doing art, and I heard that she's doing great and her art is amazing. I'm gonna check it out. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.